So in last video we are talking about this delete, and you deleted this record using their ID or underscore ID. Now today we'll see this edit. Now edit is divided into two parts basically. First, when we click on edit button, the data should display on a form. Then we will edit that data or modify that data, and then when we click on update, the data will be modified in your database. So in last lecture we have used button. So now today I'll explain you this with the help of navigation link or nav link. So that will help you to use both the things, button as well as link. Okay. So here in this case, here we have used button. Now here we'll use a nav link. First we'll check whether the nav link is included or not. So nav link is not included here. So what we can do in this case, here we need to use or we need to include the nav link. So I'll just write down import into concat nav link from the router down, fine, and then we will use this in edit. So here I will write down something like this. Nav link, and this edit will be in between this nav link, and here you'll have to add one attribute called to, say for example equal to this, and I will write down something like this. Say for example we write down update student component, and we'll pass one parameter that is ID to that. So I will write down something like this. Here I will write down data dot underscore ID. Right. So this way we'll pass this record to this. Now when you see this, here you'll have this ID, but the thing is it is undefined right now. So it's not data, in our case it is D, so I'll just make it D. So now if I say this, okay, now you'll get the ID. Okay, now so we'll create one component now first, that is update student component. So what I will do, here inside this component, I will write down, say for example, create a new file, name is update student.js, and in this case we'll write down, say for example, a functional component, add a functional component update student. Okay. Or what we can do, instead of this there is another option also, and what I will do, I'll copy this everything from create, because we are going to use this one only. So just copy this, so Control A, Control C, and I will put here instead of this. I'll make certain modifications over here. Say for example here it will be update student, right? Then this we have Axios, use navigate is fine. We require use effect also because we are going to display something. So I will import, say for example, use effect also from React. Okay, and Axios use state, React use navigate use effect, I think, and one more thing is required for getting a parameters. That is one more hook we are going to use over here, that is known as use params. I'll explain you later on what is this. Okay. So now what are the changes that we need to make over here? Say for example, first change that you need to make is, say for example here in this case, name, email, phone number, username is fine, password is fine. Okay. Password also we are going to display. Or password, normally we are not going to change this password, but still we'll put right now, then later on we'll remove this thing. Okay. Now first thing is what we want to display these records, right? So first we'll go to the HTML or EJS data. So here in this case, what we can do, instead of this student registration, I will write down student, or I will write down update student. Okay. Then name required, email is fine. Okay. Anything else required in this case that we need to check? Say for example name, email, then phone number, username, password, and on click we are collecting the data also. So I will, instead of this submit, I will write down update. Okay. Then another thing is required. Say for example, I think that is fine. Update record. So I think that is it for this site first initially. Then later on we'll write down few things here, because we need some data over here, right? So when I click on this button, it should collect something. Okay. So now what we can do here, first we'll go to the app.js first, right? In app.js, I think let me open that app.js first. So open.app.js, and here we'll add update student here after this route. Say for example create, and here I will copy this and I will put over here. It will be my update student, and here I need to pass ID also. So I will write down something like this ID, my which of this is my component update okay, but before that we need to import that also, right? So I will write down here also import, or we can write an update student here. So I will write down something like this, update student from /component/ update student. Okay, so now I've updated that thing here. Okay. Fine. So now, so that component is ready. Now we'll go to the header file, to header.js, and here we need to include somewhere, or no, it's not required, because I think when we click on edit only, that time we'll open that update student. So let's just check it whether it's working or not. Just for checking, there is one error over here. So first we'll check create student is not defined, update student.js. Okay. The issue is what, when we copy something at that time we need to do one thing, that is, this is fine, everything is fine, but here when we export this we need to write down here update student. Fine, we'll use that later on. So now when I click here edit, say for example, will open update student page for me. Right now nothing is there, but just like data is there, right? So now we'll go to the server side and we'll try to write down something here also. So we can write down, first we need to display record, so we need one ID, right? So what I will write down here, say for example, after this insert data, I will write down here in get data by ID, I will write down my routes. So I will write down router dot, I will write down patch, right? Or what we need to write down, because just think about it. So what we can write down here, we need one record, right? So here one record means what? Only one record is required, and our data is in cat or query string, so I will write down cat over here. Here I will write down, say for example, dot slash get one student colon ID. This is my record, and I need to write down in single quote this. So I will write down this way. After this, I need to pass, that is request and response. Now here, this is one extra is there, so find my request and response is there. Now here I will write down inside try catch. So I will write down try catch over here. In try I will write down, say for example, const, say for example data equal to sign up info, that is our model, that is sign up info dot find by ID. So I will write down find by ID. Into bracket I need to pass my ID, so I will write down request dot params dot ID will give me ID from here, this value, right? So my data is there. Now I need to just send this data, so I will write down response dot JSON, into bracket I will pass data, so my data will go over there. And in case of any error I can write down in catch only. So what I will write down here, that is, say for example response.json, into bracket I will write down, say for example message colon error dot message, and here we have written the error. So I think that is it for display the record in our case. So we'll just save this. So we'll save this. Now again we'll back to the, say for example we'll back to the client record, and in client record what we'll do now, we want to display this records, right? So at least we should display this record on our page. So I will write down on my update data. Okay, so now how to do this update record? Here I am calling collect data, right? So in collect data, before that I need to use the display data over here, because try to understand here in this case this insert data is not required in this case. Why it is not required? We have copied this in, so that is not required in this case. So here we'll remove this insert data portion from here in collect data. So I'll just remove this, not required right now. Okay, one more thing I think we forgot in previous is, right now it's collect data. Fine, I'll just save this. Now again I will go to the server, and here I forget two things, that is missing, and here I will write down, where I need to write down await, I need to write down here. Okay. Now I'll go to the client again. Now here that is collect data, that is fine, okay, that we'll use at the time of update, but initially we want to display our records, right? So for that I can use, say for example here after this collect data, before that I can write down, I will write down one more method, that is, say for example const this data and here equal to async length arrow function I'll use. I'll write down something like this, and here I will write down let result equal to, so for example I will write down await Axios dot get into bracket. I will write down, say for example I will write down http://localhost colon I think 5000 slash student slash get one student. I think but it is wrong, we'll see later on. And then I need to pass one ID also, so I will write down here slash dollar into bracket forums.id. So forums.id, so that is it for this. Now here I will write down, so we have get the record. Now here what I need to do, check. Okay, so my records are with me in my result. Now I want to display this. So what I can write down here, see, very simply you can write down this. We have used this use state over here. With the help of this method, my data will go over here, right? But right now we are not using this one. This is for updation, but we want to display records. So what I can write down here, try to understand. Here I will write down something like this. I will write down same method again. So for example, set name, and here I will write down, say for example, result is our data, right? So data dot, so for example, name. Now let's check whether it's working or not. One error is there. We'll check what is the error. Forums is not defined. Okay, now forums is not defined. Why forums is not defined? We have written this use from here, but we have not used that one. So what I can write down here, this forum is also one hook which will take value from your previous data, or from your data, that is ID. That is what we are passing over there, right? Same thing we are going to write down here also. So I will write down something like this: const equal to forums equal to use forums. So forums equal to use forums. So whatever ID that you have passed in your API, that is, if you want to get that value, then you have to write down this hook use forums, and that I'm taking in this. So now my data is coming over there. So now let's check this whether it's coming or not. I'll just click on edit. The name is MERN, say for example. So when I click here, so my still data is not coming. So now we need to check, okay, what is the issue over here. So now I will check this. How to check this? So here is set result dot data dot name. Result dot data dot name. Now why this data? Okay, you have not called this method till, I think, yeah, because it is in not in black, it is in another grayish mode. So if I want to use this method, so I need to use the use effect, because as I told you previously also, when I want to display something on the screen, then directly you are not able to display. You need to use this use effect hooks, then only you are able to display something. So for insertion, hook is not, this use effect is not required, but for display it is required. So I will write down here this data. That's it. So now it will call this data. Only one time you want to call this record, not multiple times. So I will write down blank array over here. So P please go through this use effect again and again, so at least you'll have an idea okay what we are doing over here. So I'll go to the home again. I'll just try to click this now. Still my data is not coming. So now what is the issue? Still we need to find out the issue. I'm doing that way purposefully. Okay, at least you have an idea of what we are doing. So my data is there, but my data is not coming. So what I need to do? So thing that you need to check is, say for example, here I will check this with this name only. So now I think that is correct. The value is correct. So now we'll try to check whether my data is, why my data is not coming. Okay, the thing is, this is working or not? Yeah, it's working. I'll just refresh this. Okay. So everything is fine. Now we'll check my server is running or not. My server is also running. To get student this ID, right? So get one student, say for example, this same thing I will return or not, that we'll check first. Okay, so here I will write down something like this: student, get one student. Still, if it is not coming, I will just make it home. Now we'll check another way. So I'll click on edit. My data is not coming, so I'll just inspect that and I'll go to the console. So it will give us some idea. Fail to load resource, or fail to load resource, fail to load resource. Everywhere the fail to load resource is there. Update student 34 line. And unput promise on 34. The update student 34 line. We'll check this. Here. So this data is not coming basically. So what we can do here now? First we'll try to alert this one. What we need to alert now, params.id first, whether the data is coming or not, that we need to check. So here I will write down, say for example, alert, say for example, params.id. So what I am doing, say try to understand, I'll return this thing. Now you can say my ID is coming. So that is not an issue. So that is, the problem is gone. Now I will check this. So I will write down here, alert this. So here it's not coming. So problem is somewhere here only. So I'll just check this display student. What we are writing, localhost colon 5000 student this, so it's fine. Localhost colon 5000 student and cat1 student and the param.id. So that data is fine. Okay, so now what we can do here, we have to go to the here and I will write down here in test.test. I want to check this now. So here I will write down this thing. After this, I will write down get. I will write down http colon this localhost colon 5000 slash student slash get one student slash I will take one ID from somewhere. So last record, that MERN record will take, say for example. So here I will update this and I will copy this ID, say for example. So I'm copying this. Now I'll put it over here, right? And now I'll save this and I'll send a request. Okay, fine. It should not come over here. Click the wrong place, I think. Here I will look at send request. Not found. So now the problem is this record is not there. So what I will do now, student route is get one student. So here I will write down here localhost path on student, get one student, and one ID I have passed. I think that is correct. Still not found. Something is wrong. Basically what I did, I just restart the server. Now after restarting the server, I will just check this thing, and now it's working. So just restart my server over here. So now if I check this again, I'll go to the home and I'll click on edit MERN, and my data is coming now. Fine. So what I did, simply I just restarted my server. I don't know why they need to restart it, but I've restarted it, now it's working perfectly. No other changes required in this case. So now what we can do, so after that we'll write down these names over here. Say for example, I'll just copy this and save. So it's name, then email, I think phone. After that, username. Normally we are not doing this for password, but just for your understanding I'm writing this, otherwise we never update password, right? So that is it, I think. So now my data is with here. I'll just go to the home, click on edit. Still it's not coming. I don't know if I've saved or not. I've saved this data. Sorry, this is an issue. So set, this one is set email, set phone, set username, and set password. Now when I click on edit, my data is with me now. Right now I need to update this record. So for that, what I will do, first we'll go to the server only and we'll try to write down the update record here in update our data, right? So for that, what I need to do, I need to write down again one route here. So I will write down router dot patch. For update we are using patch. This, and here I will write down dot slash update slash colon ID. Then I will write down, say for example, after this async into bracket request and response, then arrow function. Here I will write down in try catch. So in try catch I will write down something like this. Say for example, I will take this in one variable, that is ID. So I will write down request dot params dot ID, right? Then I can all the data, if I require, there is another way also. And last we are taking separate values, but here I will write down, say for example, update data equal to request dot body, which will give you all the records. And one more, if you really want to update all records, then I will write down request dot options equal to new true. So I'm updating my records basically. So this is vital code that you need to write down. So after this, I will call that const result equal to await for this model. Again, if you not recognize that thing, then I'm taking the schema. Our schema name is this sign up, right? And what we did over here, that schema, we have written the sign up info here at the top, this one. That's why we are writing sign up info. If you are not able to recollect that thing, then I'll just give it dot. Here I will write down find by ID and update, and into bracket I need to pass certain things. One is ID, right? Then second parameter that I will pass is my data, update data, and third parameter is my option. You can see your option, all the data, right? It is true, so I'll just write down here option. We have written options, so I will write down options over here. You can write down this way also if you want. I don't want to go into detail, so this is the way I will write down this one. Okay, so this way I'm updating my record, and here I need to send this record also. So I will write down here, I will write down, say for example, response dot send. What I want to send? Result. So I'm sending my result. My catch, if I want, I will write down response dot JSON into bracket one message, that is error dot message. Okay, so I think that is correct. I have written a sync of it also, so I think everything is fine in this case. Okay, so now again we'll go to the client, and here in this case, in case of client, see, we'll write down that collect data method. When I submit something, I want to call a collect data, right? So here I will write down again, here in this case collect data, I will write down, let's say for example, result equal to await Axios dot patch. Into bracket here I will write down that path. So I will write down http :// localhost :5000 /student /update / what I need to pass over here, that ID, right? Again I need to pass ID. So how to pass ID, as I told you previously, using params. So I will write down param star ID. It will take a value from your record, which is a previous or last ID that you are using. So it is a good hook that you can use for your work. Just go through that if you don't know about that thing. Okay. So here basically what we need to do now, we have written the things, but okay, param ID, that is fine. Now here after this, I'll do it as it is. Here I need to pass some data also, right? So I will write down something like this. So my data is something like this. Here I need to pass my data is what? Name, comma, email, comma, phone, comma, username, comma, password, right? And after this, if result, then everything is fine. Then we want to navigate, right? We have seen navigation in last video only. So here I will write down navigate into bracket. Where I want to go? I want to go to the slash. If you're not able to update that thing in that case also we'll write down that 0. Let's check here also, we have written that 0, so I will write down that also. So it will again, or it will refresh your page. Navigate 0 will refresh your page again automatically. So I think that is it. We'll check whether it's working or not, or whatever issue that we have, that we'll try to solve. So I click at MERN and I will write down say for MERN 1. Here I will write down 111, say for example. And when I click on update, it's not working. Now why it's not working, that we need to check. What is the issue? Always check my issue, why it is not working. So we have written this, we have written the navigation, but my result maybe it is not giving us a result. That's why it's not going. Collect data is there, fine. So first of all we'll check whether it is coming or not here in case of collect data. So here I will just write down alert first. Okay, so now I'll go to the page. I'll just click on home, I'll edit it. I'm not doing anything, but we'll check whether it's coming or not. So it's fine. So it is coming over here, fine. So up to this point it is fine. Now we need to check whether this is working or not. Student and update. So student update and ID. So next thing is what? We need to check this params.id. So here I will write down params dot correct. So I will press this home page. Okay, here my ID last is B3B. So when I click here and when I update this, it should display my layer ID. It is B3B. So my ID is correct. Okay. So up to this is fine. So now we need to check my result. Okay. So here if I need to change something, no, my data is fine. Set name, use params, target.value, everything is fine. Okay, fine. So here I can check if I want. I'll log into packet name, whether name is going or not. So here I'll look back again. I'll refresh this page. I'll edit that. It should display ID as well as the number. So I will click on update ID. That is fine. So everything is fine in this case. Okay. Now, so what is the issue? Local hosts colon 5000 student. Okay. And update. So we'll check that it is there or not. Update. Okay, fine. So when I click here, it's displaying me this, but not doing anything. So we'll check or inspect rather first. Go to the console and for this and promise failed to load to source server response is failed to load this Axios error promise. So first we'll check whether promise is satisfied or not here. Async is there, await is there, fine. So it is fine on this case. In case of client it is async and its await is there. So that is fine. So now we need to check this ID. So what I will do again, I will go to the product and here I will check how to solve this problem. So what we can do here for updation, say for example, again we'll try to go to the say for example here in test.rest. After this I think I will write down here. For this only we'll do that. So I will come over here, I will write down 3 hashes, so it will be a new value. Here I will write down, say for example, fetch http://localhost 5000/student/update/ I want to update this value only, so I will write down this only here. After that I will write down, say for example, content type. My content type is application JSON, and here I will write down, say for example, double quote I need to write down name, then colon, and I will copy everything from at all I have written in the top. Yeah, I have written this thing, so I'll copy this and I will write down here. Okay, that is, I think, MERN. This ID will check and I will change this also, but I will write down this IP and here I will write down 1, say for example, just for checking my ID is same. So I will now send the request and will check what is the issue. It's not found. So I think again, first let me restart this server. I think. Okay, and we'll check. Now it's working. So I need to restart my server every time. Whatever change if I make, that is the main issue with this. Okay. So now it's working. So let's check this thing here also now. I'll close this. I'll go back. You can see MERN and everything is there. So now this, here I will write down, say for example, 55555. Here I will write down 3. Here I will write down, say for example, Gmail or something, and I click on update now. Let's find one. Now you can see update and this value is there. So this way you can update your records. So what we did this time, let's try to understand. First we go to the app.js. We included this route path for update student here in this case. Then we go to this. Here it is not required because after this update only we are doing all this thing. Okay. So now we have created the one upgrade student. I have copied everything from create student and I have removed everything from collect data. Right. Then I have added one more thing, that is, I think, use params, which will give us an ID, previous ID, and for that I need to create an object also for that hook. So I have written that hook over here, and then in display data I am creating everything. So first I will call the API and for getting that record from edit, and that data I have used in a set name method for use state. When I write down this way, automatically here that value will come, and accordingly it will set that value here. So you will get that values, and after that you are calling the collect data method. And before that collect data, if I want to display that record on my screen, so I have to use effect hook, so that only you are able to pass any data, and this is one time I want to use, so I have written blank array for this. Now after that I am using collect data. So when I submit that record, I am again calling my API, which is updating my record using patch. I am passing my records over here, and then I navigate to the route. So this is client side, and in case of server side, what we did, we have written two things. One is this update your record, where I am taking this value using request.param.id, that ID, and then update record or my all records using this request.body, and then option is true, and then I am updating using find by ID and update method. Right, and for displaying my one record here, I am using this one get one student, passing this ID, and this ID I'm passing in this method called find by ID, and then data, and this way I'm passing these records. So this way you can get the values.